What is going on YouTube? Hayden here, and in today's episode, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, as well as Solana, Bitcoin, QQQ, and the S&P 500. Guys, we have a lot to go over and a lot to discuss in today's episode. A lot has happened over this weekend, which we were pretty much waiting for something to take place. Last we left off just a couple of days ago, we were expecting to see some sort of movement come maybe Monday or the start of this week. And it seems like it's come earlier, which is okay because we've been tracking it. You remember we left off with not much space left, not much time left at all. You can see in the last video, which was on Friday here, you can see we had a beautiful symmetrical triangle forming and there really was no room left. You know, we were stuck between a rock and a hard place and it was decision time. And as you can see, if I jump to XRP here, this symmetrical triangle that we were tracking did indeed break to the downside here. We actually saw a major correction to the downside here, which is very interesting. And that's pretty much where we got left off today. You can see the breakdown. This was an extremely easy buy-in opportunity as of just Friday night into Saturday and now Sunday morning. Extremely easy, extremely trackable, and there was like no excuse to not get in on a short in this position, which we'll cover and go over later on in today's episode here. Solana has seen a dip. We're going to have to adjust these to include it because it doesn't seem like we're out of it just yet, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually good news. And we're also going to be looking at things like Ethereum, which has bottomed off. We have Bitcoin, which is breaking through, rejecting off price ceiling. QQQ heading down, stock market heading down. There's rumors in the air that we're expecting to see a big drop within the stock market and things like that. I mean, I think it was like 401k going to crash. Something talks of this year, like, or if we do stock market crash. Lots of people are trying to predict this, and you can see right here, this is exactly what we were talking about. I just saw this morning here. Hedge funds' massive bets on stock market crash raises alarm for 401ks and risks IRE of Trump. Hedge funds are making multi-million-dollar gambles against the U.S. economy, betting Donald Trump's presidency will result in a massive market crash that could devastate 401ks, pensions, household savings across America, so on and so forth here. Granted, they have been saying this every year with every president since the inception of the stock market. So it's not a surprise. There's all these indicators on every chart always saying that. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to look at this. I do believe the markets are a little bit high, a little too close for comfort. So we're going to have to check this all out. But with that being said, smash that like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's get right into today's episode. So guys, before we dive into the technical analysis, remember MARGEX is giving away up to 10 grand in free bonus crypto. That is 20% back on your deposit amount by using the promo code CryptoTV. It's very simple. Upon sign up, you literally just click sign up and then type in promo code CryptoTV and you get 20% back on whatever you put in. I call it like crypto arbitrage, where what you put in, you can move around and take advantage of all the different exchanges and bonuses that they're offering, which is super cool. More talk about MARGEX and what we've been tracking later on in today's episode here. We could be opening up for a new short opportunity. We're going to be extending and kind of retracing, removing, and moving around some of these charts in a second here. So definitely make sure to check out MARGEX if you want with the link down in the description below. It's free to sign up, and I highly recommend you do so ASAP. Now, as for XRP here, if I jump to the daily charts, you can see here we were tracking a very large symmetrical triangle here. Well, it's not large, but it's a small one. But it was pretty large on the 4-hour charts here. But short term, on the daily charts, you can see we were coming to an end here. You can see we knew when this breakout would be. We had a beautiful price ceiling or a beautiful rally up, symmetrical triangle, bottom, top, higher lows and lower highs, filling in this gap, slowly getting constricted, volume slowly dying down, and you can see we came to a point where we needed to make a decision. And we confirmed closure Friday, January 31st, below support here. This uptrend was broken. We closed right here, which started the drop, the correction. This was no surprise here. So Friday night buy-in for a short. Here's the swing to the downside here. Wasn't a surprise. Now, obviously, we could go either way. We talk about this all the time. We can break up, we can break down. To me, that doesn't matter because we have like rules and instructions in place that make it very easy to get in. It's more of just getting in when the time is right, knowing when volume is going to come, I think is more important than the direction, at least at this point in cryptocurrency, because we just needed to know when the break was going to come. So we knew, okay, well, for the most part, we don't need to really pay too much attention to that, but we know come closer to the 31st, that's when we need to be watching the markets, because there's more than likely going to be closure below this uptrend or closure above this downtrend. That will know, hey, we closed above here, time to get in and along. Hey, we closed below here, time to get in and short. And you can see the drop in the market that's currently taking place. A very easy opportunity to take advantage of here. So this is exciting to me. It's very interesting. And now that we're seeing that short, it was a pretty easy bet that we would see one of those directions of volume take place. Now, as for Solana here, I think we could easily scale this down and say, okay, we're still trending inside the major descending fractal here, because you can see it is still a bull flag. We are still forming these kind of fractals. We had this crazy consolidation here. You can see symmetrical triangle filled in the gap, and then we broke down. We could just leave this for those that want to pay closer attention to that. And you can see we broke down from that, consolidated, hit resistance, tried to break through it. And we said, if we can clear above here, if we close a daily or 4-hour candle above this major resistance in yellow, we can buy in and long. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We closed below, and here we are with a short to the downside. Now that we're at bottom support, again, we're waiting for the continued pattern. You could bet inside here. You could trade inside here. It's very aggressive. For me, I like to wait when we break above or below supports and resistances. It's a much easier conservative bet. So now we're waiting for a run to the upside. You could trade this if you want to, but I would rather wait for a comfortable closure above major price ceiling here. Once we close above that resistance, I expect to see a rally take place. I think it looks really good, and we are priming to see a possible reversal in the markets here. It doesn't really look all that bad. You can see on MARGEX here, we're getting ready for that trade in. We were trying to buy in long, and we got delayed, unfortunately. So now we have to wait patiently for this to kind of show us the way, if that makes sense here. We have this beautiful descending fractal here. We rejected off support, fell down we rejected off resistance, fell down to bottom support. We're looking for a trade. You could have shorted it here. It was very aggressive, but we've fallen. And again, you could long it if you want inside here. I don't like to intra-trade, but what I'm waiting for is closure above resistance here, where we could buy in successfully and conservatively and get in on a very profitable long position here. Well, we'll probably be able to make quite a hefty amount of crypto. So pay attention to this. Very easy to take advantage of it. I already have my account funded, so we're ready and willing to take advantage of this here. And once we get that opportunity, we'll go in on a trade. But otherwise, moving forward from these cryptos, from Solana, from XRP, looking at something like Ethereum, for example, here, you can see the symmetrical triangle taking place. You can see as we're filling in this gap, as we're getting closer, as we're getting constricted here, and then at some point we are going to either break below or above this resistance and explode. But this Ethereum, as great as it is, like we have the clear resistance being retested here, I'd rather pay more attention to Solana and XRP than like Ethereum here. You can wait for that, but I would much rather focus on the coins that show a little more clarity than take advantage of ones that aren't, obviously. You can see something like Bitcoin here, clear rejection off price ceiling, but again, not enough for us to want to like buy in and take advantage of these swings. So again, something like this, I would pay more attention to Solana, honestly, and maybe XRP with the short that we're having right now than all these other cryptos. And again, this is all weekend movement here. Once Monday comes around, once the markets are back open, once everybody's on their computer watching, that opens up a whole new realm of whether we should be buying in, selling short, so on and so forth, because volume gets dumped and brought back into the markets or, taken out. Regardless, a lot more people will be in here playing around with it. QQQ and the stock market both look odd. Like we had this beautiful bull flag forming here, consolidation, filling in the gap, and then we just recently decided to break down. Like we broke out and we fell back in, then we broke out again, now we're kind of falling back in. It's just a weird spot. It's like I want to address this. I almost want to like adjust these, and maybe that's what we're going to have to do. Maybe it's going to look something like this. Honestly, it's very odd, but this might be that movement that we have to make here, which now extends us lower. And we could easily say, okay, we're still inside our resistance, 3 points of confirmation, and we are still going to trend downwards before we see any sort of break to the upside here. It could ideally continue to send us lower. It's a very odd market right now. I mean, I want to try to do the same thing with like the S&P, but it doesn't look that accurate. It looks very odd. Like we can't get an accurate reading, an accurate trend line to really confirm whether we're in this downtrend or some sort of uptrend here. So we just have to let things pan out regardless. Even if we are outside this resistance and we consolidate here, well, will be forced upwards, which isn't too bad. But that's it for today's episode. Smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.